Hi, myself Shreyas. In this video, I will be explaining the mini hackathon project. Problem statement for this mini hackathon was to build a two-player trivia game using the JavaScript, which fetches the questions from Trivia API. In this, players will input their names, choose a category together, and answer the questions of various difficulty. The game scores players based on their answers and declares the winner at the end. I named this project as a IQ Arena. These are the links. The tech stack I use for building this project is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And for making HTTP request, I used Axios, and hosting the project, I used the Vercel. This is the architecture I followed. One client is going to access our website. Player 1 is going to enter his name and player 2 is going to enter their name. They can read the instruction to how to play the game, or they can choose the category and start the game. Once they start the game, they are redirected to the question page where question 1 is asked to the player 1 and question 2 is asked to the player 2. Like this, we're going to ask the 6 questions and the 6th question is asked to the player 2. Once they answered all the 6 questions, they redirected to the new page where they can make their choices. Either they can choose the categories and choose the category and play this game again with different category questions, or they can end the game here. If they're going to end the game here, they're going to show the results. These results are going to be calculated in such a way that each category is going to have each winner, and the final winner is going to be named as that person who won most of the categories. This is how the front-end pages looks like. In splash page, we're going to let the user to enter their details and choose their categories. In slash guidebook page, we're going to give all the instruction to how to play this game. In slash question page, we're going to show the questions with the options, and in this page only we're going to make the API call to the Trivia API. We're going to run this question page 6 times in a loop so that we can ask 6 questions for each category. Then in slash categories page, we're going to let the user to decide they want to play the game or they want to end this game. In slash score page, we're going to display the scores of the users. Then comes the work breakdown of the steps I follow to solve this problem. I spent some time reading the documentation which was sent by the HVA. Then I spent a lot of time understanding the Trivia API. For this, I read their official documentation. Then I designed the architecture using the Eraser website. The main challenge of this project was to maintain the data consistently throughout the project. For this, I chose the local storage. Then I started writing code for the pages. First I started with the home page, then the question page. In questions page, I spent a lot of time because I was making the API calls here, updating a lot of data here. So I spent a lot of time in the question page. Then I wrote code for the categories page, then score page. This is how I break down this project and build this project. Then comes the key features. There are 3 main key features in this. One is dynamic question fetching. Second one is data storage using the local storage, and the multiplayer support because we are letting the 2 players to play this game. Some of the challenges I faced during building this project. The first one was understanding the Trivia API. So in this, I spent a lot of time understanding how to make a proper API call, how the response looks like. So for all these things, I read their official documentation. The second challenge was building the architecture and the data flow for this project. Third one was making the API call for the specific category and the difficulty level. So it was a bit challenging because we are letting the user to select the category, and on the basis of this we need to make the API call. So it was a bit challenging. Then managing the local storage variable. So maintain the data persistence and data consistency throughout the project. We have to update this local storage variable data in different pages in different components. So it was a bit challenging. Then updating the user scores. We need to update the user scores on the basis of the question difficulty. So it was a bit challenging. Then shuffling the answers. I didn't want it to show the answer in a same place every time. So I added some logic to shuffle the answers with the incorrect options. Then comes the issues which are there in my project right now. First one is protecting the project. For example, user can enter the slash question page without entering his name and without choosing the categories. I didn't add any protection for the slash question page, which is really bad, and it may result in some issues. Then the mobile responsiveness issues. I didn't add any logic to the mobile responsiveness here. The future enhancement I'm planning to add in this project is giving authors to the users, text to voice, and I need to make the CSS better of this project. This is a small go through of the documentation. Now I'm going to explain the code. This is how the folder structure looks like. Each folder is going to have the three files, one for CSS, HTML, and JSS. Other than these folders, I'm also keeping the data folder in which I'm keeping all the images which I'm going to use in this project. So most of my project logic runs in the question.js file. In this page, I'm maintaining the multiple states. Whenever I'm making the API call, I'm maintaining the three main states. One is the loading state, and other state is whenever I'm going to get the proper response, and the last state is if I'm not going to get the proper response. Whenever I'm going to make the API call, the loading is going to be shown in the front end, and if I'm not going to get proper response from the API, the error is going to be thrown telling that error in getting proper response. If I'm going to get the proper response, the question is going to be shown in the front end. Other than this, whenever user is going to click on the handle submit button, there are going to be two situations. If the present question number is lesser than 6, we again going to fetch the questions from the previous API. If the present question number is equal to 6, there are going to be other two situations. Either users or players completed all the 6 categories. If they did like this, they're going to redirect it to the /scoreboard page. If they not completed all the 6 categories, they're going to redirect it to the categories page where they can choose either they want to play this game or they don't want to play this game. This is a small go through of this is a live demo of this project. I choose Titan as a logo for this project and IQ Arena as a name. And the best thing about this project is I added this small logo on the top. In slash page, I given two links. One is for guidebook and second one is for starting the quiz. Whenever players click on the guidebook page, they direct it to the instructions page where I shown all the instructions to how to play this game. By clicking on home page button, they can come back to the home page. Once users are going to be in the home page, if they click on the start quiz button without entering the names or selecting the category, we're going to share the error message in downside. So once the player enters their names, and if they're not going to select the category, we're going to need to select the category before starting the quiz. Once the players select the category, they're redirected to the /question page where we're going to show the questions for the specific category and whose turn to play this game and what's the difficulty level. And the bit logic I added here was I'm disabling the submit button. If the user is not selected any of the options, I am disabling this submit button. Once the player is start to select the option, this submit button is going to be it's not going to be disabled. So your user can select the option and click on submit button, and this will run for 6 times for the same category because we're going to ask 6 questions of different levels. Once all the 6 questions are answered by the users, they are redirected to the /categories page. Here they can choose I'm disabling the category which is already played by the user, and I'm also disabling this play again button because user is now not selected any of the categories, and I'm also giving link to the exit button where they can exit this game and they can see the scores. If user want to play this game again, they can choose any of the category. They can choose any of the category from here and they can play this game again, or they can exit this game by clicking on exit button. In scoreboard page, I'm showing the scores of the players. So these players only played the science category, so I'm showing good is got 10 marks and bad got 0 marks. So winner of this category is good, and they didn't play any of the other categories, so I'm showing this dash here. Then in last, I'm showing that player 1 good wins. This is a small demo of this project. Thank you.